Welcome along to our live trading event for the US session. I will give a couple of minutes and we'll start. So just a couple of minutes. Just to be aware, this is a educational purpose only. You can follow our trade, but it is at your own risk, at your own reward. So you always should do your own research before you're taking the trade. All right. So a few more minutes, I will kickstart. Okay. I think my microphone is on. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to kickstart now. This will be recorded. Anyone want to join, then join. Like I said, this is for educational purpose only. You still need to protect your risks and do your own due diligence, okay?
Of course, yeah.
Great. So I'm going to start off with, like I always do anyway, with the S&P 500. So the reason I want to go long, I'm already long anyway, by the way. So since this morning, I'm sure some of you have seen I placed the trade, is a good pullback. I know yesterday we had the Fed meeting. They talk about tapering, raising interest rate. That's not news anyway. That is just noise to me. So perfect. We see ABC correction come down to this level. So I'm happy to be a buyer on that. Dropping down to a smaller time frame, you probably will see this the ABC correction clearer on the 4-hour. The whole week I wanted to buy it, but it's this. I didn't get involved a bit at the early, but I closed off quite early on this one, but that's fine. So I been wanting to wait for correction. This is perfect correction in here. Okay, whether it's going to be a winning trade or not, I don't know yet. So we shall see on that.
So Jake, what is your entry and your stop loss?
I'll go to an hour to show you.
Okay, cool.
We'll see very clear. The blue line is my entry. So it's just basically a break of this 1 hour high test bar. So when it's change of trend, I'm happy to, be a buyer. So now it kicks me in. Now it's ranging a little bit, pull back a bit. I don't really want to see, honestly, I don't want to really see price break below too much on this area. So be mindful of this, what's the level? This trend line level here for 4,470 level. So, should hold. I like to see it hold.
And what's your stop on this? Did you have a big
here?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so way below this swing low through this area. So cool. I will drop down to 15 minutes. So this is how I trade anyway. If I see price come back, break below, and stay below in 15 minutes, I will close the trade because that's not doing what I want. But try to have a look at others market as well. So you can see Dow Jones still holding on the trend line area here, and Nasdaq as well is just at this level at the moment. So it's nothing shouting out for me, okay, it's not doing what I want just yet. So I'm not gonna close the trade just because it kicked me in and out. But if all three of them break below this trend line and stay in the trend line an hour after the open or 2 hours after the open, then I will be on protective mode. But I will definitely go again if this trade kick me out. It's fine. I will wait for wait for the next entry, whether there's, it's not uncommon. Sometimes it makes double or even triple bottom. Anyways, it's not uncommon. So, for me, I'm fine. I'm happy to lose a little bit and then keep going until I get the winning trades anyway. So that's how I do it. And other things that yesterday I did say I want to buy the Japanese yen, but one thing that I am not very convinced is going to drop is dollar yen. It's not dropping. So now you still keep making higher, low. I know it's ranging, but it's like here, it range and it pops higher. So Japanese yen being a risk-off asset, I'm not seeing any buying momentum. So I rather focus on more buying the stock indices rather than going to sell the dollar yen. So that's why I thought yesterday's trade on Aussie yen that I posted on the group, I said I'll cancel it now. I mean, if it's yesterday when it breaks, this is not very convincing selling on yen. So sells a bit and then now pulls around this area. So if this pops higher, will be better for the indice trade. That's why I'm more focused on buying the stock indice for today or even until end of the week.
Okay, can I just ask you one question? What do you actually mean by risk of asset?
All right. Risk off is, so I'll circle that. Stock is risky. So stock market is a risky asset. Crypto is definitely risky asset. So, okay. And then the typical gold and Japanese yen, they are risk off assets. So people think that's more like a safe haven. So whenever you can do some back testing as well, whenever the perfect example, I might just go and show you, since the war in Ukraine, we are seeing buying momentum in gold. So you can see that, right? So this obviously when the war happened, the stock market dropped. The money had to flow somewhere. Money can't, the big hedge fund, the institution, they need to make money work harder than themselves. So if money flowing out in the indice, money needs to go somewhere. So money flow to gold. So that's how I use risk on and risk off. It doesn't have to inverse correlation or always the same, but if you see Japanese yen as well, it's been one of the risk off that we use a lot. So you will see a lot of people talk about safe haven is Japanese yen because they have no interest, and because of the exchange rate, although we see it as a trader, we see it move a lot, but actually they don't fluctuate as much as other currencies. So trader like to use that as a safe haven. So that's why every morning I like to look at the stock indice first, have a look at what they are doing. Then I move on to the Forex. So if I have if back of my head, okay, now the indice is back to a support and demand zone, I want to buy indice, then I wouldn't go and buy Japanese yen because that create a lot of conflicts in my head. So I don't really do that. And another thing that I want to point out is the dollar. This is I don't know. It's not as much, but it has an impact when indices go up. Dollar tend to drop a little bit, like British pound. If British pound drop, the FTSE tend to benefit because the products that UK sells is cheaper because the pound is cheaper, and then company benefit. So a bit similar to US dollar. US dollar drop, cheaper iPhone. Apple sell more products. So at the moment, these prices is so rangy around this area. It's not the way that I like to trade, but a smaller time frame is okay. It's not my main focus, but I see this is an ending pattern that will eventually break this and come back a bit lower, perhaps around this 96 level in US dollar. it's not the easiest to get in, but euro is on my list to do reversal, because you can see on daily, well, if you remember on dollar index, it broke the high, but if you look at euro, hasn't broken the low. So something tells me that the dollar index was a fake move yesterday. So I potentially want to go long on euro. Is it ready yet? Maybe a bit later. So yeah, it's basing up this. I like to use smaller time frame, try and get in early. So if this break, this above this trend line, could be my first entry, stop loss here, but it will be a bit later when I want to see what the index is doing. So if I see index start breaking higher and this breaking higher, then yeah, I'll be more comfortable to take the euro dollar long. So take some profit around this level first. Don't be too optimistic with this with forex. I'm not very convinced on forex at the moment. Aussie, I'm not touching. I'm not really touching it. I mean, it could pop a bit higher, you know. But this is, I missed this, and this is in the middle of nowhere. I don't really want to touch it, so I'll leave it for now on Aussie. Pound is a very interesting one. I don't know, have you seen the recording? British pound, if you go back in history, even up to 10 years, just show you the last couple of years on that. April, so that's March, that's April. You can see April, bang, go up. Even in 2020, when we had the very bearish pound sentiment in here, that's April. Still have a bounce. So April tend to be seasonally very bullish for pound for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just been the way it is for the last 10 years. So I'm happy to be more focused, to be a buyer. If it comes back down to this level, be better, because I can see potentially back to this level here. So 400 pips to grab. But if it doesn't, which is, it's not the end of the world, I have use a smaller time frame, look for a change of trend. A little bit messier than euro, to be honest. But if it goes above first entry, a retest around this area would be the first one to get in, because if I get in here, price start to move, my stop loss is right here. So, you know, whether it's going to come back, kick me out and go again or whatever, that's fine and protect it. So that's the first move. Second one, if you want to confirm 4-hour trend, break up this area and that. But usually I like to get in as early as possible, because just the reward to risk. So usually I get in this 131, and then above here, you know, break 132, retest this area, second trade, scaling on that. So pound is on the list purely because of it's a reversal trade, but a seasonal backed up, and I see a drop in dollar eventually. So I want to do that. I have zero interest on Kiwi. I have not much interest on dollar CAD either. I see dollar CAD could potentially, dollar could benefit from well, against the Canadian dollar. Two reasons I'll show you. First is on support, loads of interaction. So I see a bounce in here, whether I'll sell dollar in there, we'll see. But I'm not really touching it. I don't really like this ranging, but probably will benefit. I think we will see a weaker Canadian dollar. Dollar Swiss, if I put in on weekly, I haven't traded dollar Swiss maybe for 2 years or even longer, just because it's going this way. So going sideways, I absolutely no interest on this, so I leave it alone. Dollar yen, it's too late to buy. I'm not going to chase it. There's no indication for me to sell, so I'm happy to leave dollar yen. A reason why I said we may see weakness in Canadian dollar, because oil has a correlation with Canadian dollar. Canada export quite a bit of oil. This is the ending pattern. So big double top. If this is a support level, it should already find buyer, 1 day buyer, and then come seller. So wouldn't surprise me, will break below here. If it breaks below this 95, smaller time frame on 4 hours, I will sell oil, but has to break this, clean break this area first. All right. With oil, usually before the war, usually when oil go up, stock indices go up, but because of Russian and Ukrainian war, is now doing the opposite. Oil go up, indices go down, because of the war related. So that's how it is at the moment. So I do want to see oil break lower, because this looks like a fake out to me, but we shall see on that. So oil's on the list for me to either way. I don't think I'm going to buy it. I'll wait for it to drop lower to sell, but not ready yet, so have to wait. And then the final one is gold. It's a bit tricky actually. It's not top of my list to do it, but it's going this way. So either way, break lower, maybe I'll sell it back lower here. If it breaks above, maybe potentially a bit higher. I don't think it's going to break this. So around this 2050 would be the maximum mark, but probably 2010, 2020 is the target. But it really needs to break this 1950 and stay above before I take any action on that. Do you trade stock, Rosie?
No. No.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. I'll show you anyway. One of the stock is top of my list is Nvidia, which could be today. Is the reason being is very, very bullish on that. And when you trade stock, this is going to be a daily trade, but when I trade this, I like to trade weekly trend. So if you get a trend like that, that's 5-6 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm sure if you look at weekly on this, it's no rocket science. Good stock goes up. Okay, that's just plain simple on that. I like trading stock. I started trading stock more last year. I have a little bit of success, but because last year, end of the year, the correction comes, I haven't been able to test the system fully just yet. But I will share that with you guys once I have better result on that. But on this, is very simple. This break is now we have a daily uptrend. I like the fact that it just draw to this support and demand zone in this area. So very simple. I'm gonna see because it's not open yet. The US is opening in 12 minutes. When it open, I'll see how this play out. So maybe a break, clean break, come back for a retest, smaller time frame, then I'll take it long. Potentially looking at breaking even the all-time high. The reason being is you can do some research on that. On S&P 500, NASDAQ weekly already have a downtrend. We are now just trading a weekly phase 2. With Nvidia, we're still on a weekly uptrend. So meaning that Nvidia, this individual stock, is even outperforming the stock indices, which is great. I like to buy the strongest. So this is one of the strongest individual stock in there. So I'm happy to buy it. I don't think I'm gonna invest on there, but later on this summer, when I think we're gonna have a bigger correction. But something that I talked with Ray and other traders that we are seeing that usually in the midterms year, the real sell-off comes in summertime. So so I'm not going to hold on to any investing position just yet, but I'm happy to be a buyer today on Nvidia. So happy to go long Nvidia and stick with the trade on S&P 500. Are you in on S&P 500 or?
No, I'm not. No.
That's fine, no problem. This, like I said, there's no guarantee win. I like to say to people, I always win, but the reality, no, I do lose trade. But when I win, I try to win as much as I can, because you can see even from this S&P 500 trade, my risks, you can see I have 2 trade because this is just my habit. Each of the trade, I think I risk 1,300. So I usually trade around between 2 to 6,000 per trade, depending on my appetite, because I want to go long on Nvidia. So I'm not going to place my full position in there. But you can see even the first target here, if I risk 1,300, this is almost a 3-to-1 trade. And I see it go back to the all-time high, and that's 6-to-1, 7-to-1 trade. That's how I am, how I will show it on the group as well, how I manage to trade when, accordingly on that. I usually use a 1 hour swing on the trade. So I like to see price continue to make higher lows, and then I don't put it right at the tip. I leave it maybe behind the MAs or using daily pivot to protect. So that's how I trade. So now back to this trade is, we got 10 minutes, but we are seeing the pullback is slowing down a bit now. So I will keep an eye on this. If anyone follow the trade, I'll keep you posted. But like I said, I don't really want to see it break below too much here. So if it come back below and test here, then I will close the trade. But the plan is seeing going higher. So that's for me for this week. I don't think, apart from Nvidia or maybe euro dollar, I don't think I'm going to have any more new position. But if I do, I'll post it on the group if you guys have any problem. I mean, best way to get to me on Discord is tag me. So tag me, hey Jake, I've got a question. Then that way my notification is a lot stronger. Of course, I do check, regularly on that. So, but if I did miss something on the group, just tag me again. I'll do my best to answer your question. Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks for joining. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.